Was it Kadjar? Kadjar? It's pronounced Kadjar, and apparently, according to Renault, it means agile four-wheeled vehicle. I mean, it's definitely got four wheels, but we'll have to see about the agile bit, I think. We'll find out whether it's agile later in this video review, but first, let's discuss the looks briefly. The Renault Kadjar is rounded, it is smooth, and this one is deliciously red. A bit like a Gala apple, if your apples are cars and have ISOFIX points.
The Kadjar originally came out in 2015. It was facelifted ever so slightly to look like this in 2018. It got new bumpers, all LED taillights, and these daytime running lights, which are also le indicators.
You may already know that the Renault Kadjar shares most of its components with their previous generation Nissan Qashqai, but to my eyes, what that's worth, I think the Kadjar looks nicer than even the latest Nissan Qashqai. But let's go and find out what the Renault's like, where you spend most of your time. On the inside. When the Kadjar was facelifted in 2018, it got a good for the time new infotainment system. 5 years later though, it looks pretty dated, the graphics are not great, it's reasonably unresponsive, and it's quite a small screen as well. The saving grace is that if you plug your phone in, you can use Apple CarPlay on there, so you can just use Google Maps and avoid all the Renault stuff. So that's actually okay. You also get a 3-part digital dashboard which shows you your speed, your fuel range and all that kind of stuff. And thankfully you've got physical climate controls which look quite modern because they've got screens in the middle like in an Audi, so you can see, oh, I'm putting the air on my feet or my head or what have you. In terms of storage, it's pretty decent here in the Kadjar. I've got a nice space down here with 2 USBs and a 12-volt socket. There's a big old bin under here, which is actually really deep. I've got decent sized cup holders here. The door bins are okay. Unusually though, for a French car, the glove box is really big. It's not full of a fuse box, so that's actually a really handy space. The only downside really in this cabin is that it's a bit grey and creaky and it doesn't necessarily feel that high quality. But hey, this is a very affordable car now in 2023 or 24 or 25, whenever you're watching this video.
Entry-level models are called Play and get alloy wheels, auto lights and wipers, and cruise control. Step up to an iconic model and you get a reversing camera and bigger alloy wheels. S edition models get LED headlights and a sunroof, while top spec GT lines get heated seats, blind spot monitoring and a Bose sound system, and a slightly different front grille. Woof.
As you'd hope for a family SUV, the Kadjar is nice and roomy back here. I'm 6'3", that's my driving position, and I've got plenty of knee room, foot room and headroom, and the rear seats are at a nice comfy angle as well. The middle seat is nice and wide. I've got USBs down there, a 12-volt socket. The ISOFIX points are easy to access for fitting a child seat, but you have to take off these plastic clips, which you'll either lose or put in the tiny little door pockets, which haven't got felt lining, so those will rattle around forever and drive you mad. If I flip down the center armrest, I've got 2 cup holders, but for some reason they're square. So yeah, it's good back here. The only real downside is there's quite a big hump in the floor. You might get the hump when you see the Kadjar's 472-litre boot. It's fine for most family stuff, but it is below average for the class. The new Qashqai is 30 litres bigger. The Citroen C5 Aircross is a whopping 110 litres bigger. But that said, there are still some cool features in the Kadjar's boot. You can pop up the boot floor to be a handy little divider, and that means stuff won't rattle around. And you can also drop the boot floor entirely like this to give yourself some more space. The parcel shelf will also fit under the boot floor as well, which is mega handy, and you can flip the rear seats down using the levers here so you don't have to walk around. So yeah, it's a flexible space. It might not be the biggest space. Shall we see if we can fit the Motorpoint Pram of Justice in there? Let's have a quick go. Your kids are screaming, I want a snack, I want to go home, I need the toilet, oh, I just want to get the pram in the boot. Will it go? Yeah, easily. That's one of the biggest prams out there, unless you've got twins, unfortunately. But yeah, it fits very well. But anyway, let's see how the Kadjar handles family life out on the road.
The Kadjar's engine lineup is straightforward. You can get a 1.3 litre petrol with 130 or 160 horsepower, or a 1.5 litre diesel with either 115 or 150 horsepower in the 4-wheel drive version.
I'm in the 1.3 litre petrol Kadjar, the one with 140 horsepower. And it's quick enough really for everyday driving. It's got a 0-62 time of just over 10 seconds, and you'll get about 45 mpg, close to 50 if you're really careful. I probably wouldn't bother getting the more powerful version. It's not going to be that much faster and the efficiency is going to be about the same. But yeah, the engines, you can get a mixture of manuals or automatics. I would say though that if you do get a manual like this, the gear lever is quite plasticky and doesn't feel that nice, and sadly that is just a Renault thing.
Visibility out of the Kadjar is pretty decent and you sit up relatively high. In terms of comfort, the Kadjar performs well, but there's more road and wind noise than you'd find in the Skoda Karoq.
Overall then, the Kadjar is not the most exciting family SUV to drive. It doesn't go through corners as sharply as a Seat Ateca or even a Skoda Karoq, but it does iron out most of the bumps pretty well, although you still feel some sharp pitter-pattering around town. But by and large, it's a good thing. It's just not a sporty SUV. And I think that's probably fine. Let's head back to Motorpoint for a conclusion. At the start of this video, I was probably a bit mean about the Kadjar's name, but behind that slightly silly badge is a decent family SUV that's got a reasonable sized boot, lots of backseat space and an efficient range of engines. On the downsides, the interior is starting to feel a little bit dated and plasticky, and the infotainment is merely okay, but that's about it for the negatives. Renault is about to replace the Kadjar though with the Austral, so if a Kadjar is on your shopping list, you haven't got long to head down to Motorpoint and pick one up. If you're interested in the Nissan Qashqai, click up there to watch our video of that, and do subscribe to the Motorpoint YouTube channel because it's got plenty of nearly new car reviews coming soon. Thanks for watching.